Shalom. Shalom is the brother Kadash. I'm going to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and honors to all the brothers in this truth. This lesson, this little sit down that I was having, I really ain't got no direction of it, but I was watching a couple videos, of the other nations. They had come out and say they got visions, and they had kind of go into detail explaining their visions. It was one that was recently put up with, it looked like a some type of like Ishmaelite woman, and she was saying the vision that she had of the Lord was terrible. I don't know, maybe I might name it like terrible visions of the Lord's return. But the scriptures, see, the thing that's so terrible for these people is because they not going off the scriptures. So when they do have these visions, it's nothing like what they've been taught, nothing like what they learned. So that's what she was saying. She was like, he didn't have blonde straight hair, and he wasn't nice, and he was coming back, and he was angry. But if you read the scriptures, you get to it, you could really find out that it's all through this Bible. It clearly tells you how he's coming back. It clearly tells you what he's going to do and how he's going to be and what's going to go on. It clearly tells you that. So I want to, just go into it a little bit, just pulling random scriptures, really going off the top of the head. But the Lord ain't coming back to play, and that's what people got to understand. And I don't think a lot of people understand that yet. Everybody say, "Oh, the Lord knows my heart," and this and that, and they think it's gonna be all good when the Lord comes back. But you got to liken the Lord return to the first death, which was the flooding of the earth. Except for this is going to be way worse because it's going to be a lake of fire. It's going to be the second death, which is by fire and brimstone. It talks about that in Revelation. But yeah, you got to liken it to the first one, where pretty much it's going to be a whole reset. People are going to get wiped out, man. People are going to get murdered. It's going to be slaughtered. And the ones that do survive and that's still around, which is going to be a lot of people that's going to still be around, they going into bondage because they going to have to get down or lay down. And these ain't my words, this is coming from the scriptures. Here, let me find, because I want to back everything up with the scriptures. This is, here, let me get to it. I believe, what is that? What's that? Luke 19 or 17 maybe. No, 19 and 27. This is Luke 19:27. But those my enemies, so who's gonna be the Lord's enemies? The ones that's not following His program, man. The Israelites that's not being righteous, that's being wicked, and everybody else that's wicked on the earth. But those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring them here and slay them before me. That word slay means kill. So the Lord is saying, man, look, now that's some gangster shit right there if you want to get truth. The Lord saying, imagine the Lord saying that, because that's in red letter. So imagine the Lord saying that, man. You got to imagine, this ain't no motherfucking Caesar Borgia saying some shit like that, man. This is the Almighty, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning, the end. This is the Lord saying this, man. Which, yeah, he's a dark-skinned male with woolly hair like I got, like we got. That's gonna be angry, man. Revelations 1 give you his image, but yeah, imagine the Lord saying that. He's saying, look, man, those that wish that I would not reign over them, bring them to me. Bring them in front of him. He said, I want them in front of me, man, and kill them before me. That means bring them right in front of me and kill them, so I can see you kill them. Man, that's tough right there. That ain't no all this lovey-dovey. Yeah, we got love for our brothers. We love each other like one. You come to my house, you can sleep at my house. If you ain't got nowhere else to go, if you a brother in this truth, you can come to my house. I got a room for you. I got some food for you. You need help? Yeah, we got love like that because we commanded to have that brotherly love. That's how you build a nation, keep a nation strong. But we ain't soft, man, at all. And the Lord ain't soft at all. Yeah, let me jump back over here. He ain't having none of that. So I really just want to go into more of the Lord's return. That's a part of the Lord's return right there. Matter of fact, before I jump from there, let me go back up to verse 17. Luke 19, verse 17. It says, and he said unto him, well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in very little, have authority over 10 cities. So he coming back to give Israelites that remain faithful, part of being faithful is following him. What did he do when he was here? He's a perfect example. Well, he kept all the law, statutes, and commandments perfect. So that's the perfect example. So yeah, we still got to keep the law, statutes, commandments. Romans 3 and 31. If you want to get it from the Lord, that's in Matthew's the 5th chapter. He gonna tell you that the law ain't done away himself. So yeah, we gotta keep the laws, but those, so it's two sides to it. The wicked, they gonna be slayed, and the righteous are gonna get promises and benefits and stuff like that. The kingdom of heaven, things like having authority over 10 cities that the Lord granted you. This is First Thessalonians, chapter 4. I'll just start at verse 16. For the Lord himself should descend from heaven. This is how he's coming. So that's why you see a lot of these movies where they have aliens, and where are they always coming from? Space. They coming from the heavens. They descending, you know. But really, that's angels and chariots, you know, and it's the Lord that's going to come back. Because he's going to descend from the heavens, so he's going to come out the skies. Just like you see, I always forget the name of that movie. But these different alien movies, Independence Day, the aliens came from out the skies. Well, that's how the Lord, doesn't that sound just like how it explains the Lord is coming back? For the Lord himself to descend from heaven with a shout, you know, with the voice of an archangel, and with the trumpet of God. So a gigantic shout coming from the skies, right? And the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord. So we going to be with the Lord, and we going to come back down. We ain't going to be in the sky forever, man. Because we got a lot of jakes that, man, you know how this should be. But we ain't just going to be in the sky. That doesn't mean that we going to be in the sky. What it means is we going to be with the Lord forever. Let me jump to Revelations 21. And I saw a new heaven, a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I saw John, the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven. So he went up with God in heaven. That's what First Thessalonians 4 is telling us. Revelation 21 saying we was with God, and we came out of the heaven, prepared as a bride, adored for her husband, right? And we came back down to inherit the kingdom of heaven. If you continue going into that Revelations chapter 1. This is First Thessalonians 5. I'll just start in the beginning. But at the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord should come as a thief in the night. So you ain't gonna know. So you need, if you in this truth, man, you need to keep on the train tracks. That's what I like to say. Like, I know I'm on the tracks. It's just, can you stay on the tracks until the train, to the last exit on the train is the kingdom of heaven. So you want to try to stay on the tracks as long as you can, man. But that day gonna come like a thief in the night, right? For when they should say peace and safety, they gonna say peace and safety. We got peace treaties up, all that bullshit. Then sudden destruction should come upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they should not escape. They not gonna escape, man. None of the wicked. Y'all gonna, man, hey, let me stop. Anyways, verse 4. But ye brethren which are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. You know, ye are children of the light and children of the day. We are not of the night nor darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, and let us watch and be sober. So we don't know the day, because it's going to come as thief at night, but we watching, you know, we measuring the times diligently. We becoming watchmen to know that, okay, it's coming to that time. For they that sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. You know, so this is talking about you got to wake up out of the system. That's where they get the whole thing I'm woke from. You got to be woke. You got to know what's going on. You got to be able to see the things that's forming, see the things that's about to happen. And not be, you know, like a fucking zombie out here, pretty much. Just walking dead. You know, you got to be able to see what's about to go on, because all hell gonna break loose at some point. You know, we see that it's coming there. You know, this is 2 Thessalonians here. I don't want to Slacky. Let me find this real quick. Yeah, it's Second Thessalonians chapter 1. Chapter 1, I'll just start at verse 6. It says, seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to those that trouble you, right? And to you who are troubled, rest with us when the Lord Yahweh Shai should be revealed from heaven. So always keep saying he's coming from heaven. He's coming from heaven. He's coming from the skies, man. He's gonna come down. We're gonna get into that too. With his mighty angels. So he coming with mighty angels. What? So he could command the angels to pass out flowers and go give people hugs and tell them it's all right now. No, man. He coming with mighty angels because they gonna go to war. They gonna fight. You know, verse 8, it gives you more in depth on that. And a flaming fire, that's what he's coming with, a flaming fire. What does fire do? It destroys stuff. Taking vengeance. So the Lord coming back for vengeance, man, on them that know not God and that obey not the gospel of the Lord, Yahweh Shai. So you ain't obeying the gospel, you don't know the Lord, you know, verse 9, who should be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power. That's what's going to happen to you. You know, that's exactly what's going to happen to you, rightfully so, man. What is the gospel of the Lord, right? So it says those who don't obey the gospel of the Lord, right? Here, let me see if I can set it up real quick to find it, because it's really just the Spirit, going off the Spirit, having me pull precepts and stuff that I wasn't even planning on pulling. But hey, that's a great thing. Luke 4:17. Flipping through pages. Luke 4, verse 17. Right here, it says, and there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah, right? And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written. That's Isaiah 61. We can go to it. And then verse 18 says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he has anointed me to preach the gospel, right? The good gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted and to preach deliverance and captives and recovering the sight of the blind and to set the liberty them that are bruised, right? And to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. So he said the Lord picked it up and he read from the book of Isaiah. And that's what he's quoting. You know, the Lord always went off the Old Testament and what they say, the law. Yeah, the Lord always went off that, because that's what he's quoting from the book of Isaiah, which is the Old Testament, right? So let's find where he was quoting that from. That's Isaiah 61. That's Isaiah 61, right here. It's going to say the same thing. It says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me because the Lord has anointed me to preach good tidings, which is the good gospel. But in Luke 4, it said the gospel. And to the meek, and he has sent me to bind up the broken hearted and proclaim liberty and captives and opening of prisons to them that are in bound. And to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord and the day of vengeance our God, and to comfort all that mourn. Is that talking about all people on the earth? Let's see. To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion. Zion refers back to Israel. That's talking about the Israelites only, not all people. To give unto them beauty for ashes. Who is the them? It's them who mourn in Zion, man. A people before a place. And the oil of joy for mourning. The garment of praises for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness and plenty of the Lord, that they might be glorified. And they should build the oasis. They should raise up the former desolations, and they should repair the waste cities and desolations of many generations. Because all hell going to break on the loose. You're going to have the second death, which is the lake of fire, and everything's going to have to be rebuilt up. As far as the strangers, this is what they're going to do. Non-Israelites. And the strangers should stand and feed your flocks. We ain't going to have other Israelites feeding our flocks. So this strangers right here, in this context, is talking about other nations. They going to stand and feed our flocks. Not by choice, by force. They ain't gonna have no choice, right? And the son of the alien should be your plowman and your vine dresser. But ye should be named the priest of the Lord. Men should call you the minister of God. Ye should eat the riches of the Gentiles. So we're gonna take their riches, we're gonna eat it. They not gonna have a choice to say, you can't eat my riches. We gonna eat their riches, right? And in their glory shall ye boast yourself, right? We taking all their glory, right? So if you ain't getting along with this gospel, if you ain't getting along with us eating the riches of the Gentiles, the strangers standing and feeding our flocks, which is the good gospel, then you know what's going to happen to you. Jumping back to Second Thessalonians chapter 2, and a flaming fire taking vengeance on them that know not the God and that obey not the gospel of the Lord Yahweh Shai. So that's the gospel out his own mouth. If you ain't obeying that gospel, so that goes along with you dudes that's saying everybody could be saved with us. Everybody's going to inherit the promise of the kingdom with us. You going to have that flame of fire. You're going to be devoured because you deceiving the people. And that's why you have all these people thinking it's going to be all good and great when the Lord return, because they getting deceived by people telling them that. And then they have these visions of this terrible day, and it ain't nothing like what they was taught. And then they go bug out somewhere because of that, because you got people out there deceiving them, telling them everybody's going to be able to make it, everybody's going to get the blessing of the kingdom. That's not true. That's only for Israelites. So y'all going to have to be dealt with too. You're going to have to be dealt with too. What did I want? I wanted Revelations 1. No, I wanted here. It was in Luke. Let me find Luke again, since I was in Luke. Just giving you more context on how the Lord is going to return. Let's see. This is Luke 12, verse 51. This is how the Lord returning. Suppose ye that I come to give peace on earth. I tell you, nay, but rather division. For from henceforth there should be 5 in a house divided, 3 against 2, 2 against 3. A father should be divided against his son, and the son against the father, and the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother, and the mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. That's a red letter that's coming from the Lord, right? So is the Lord coming back and it's going to be all peace on earth? No, the Lord said he coming back to cause division. Y'all talking about America, right? The land of the free, where everybody could come. You all love America. All different nations of people could be under the same nation and all together. You got Mexican Americans, African Americans, Caucasian Americans, Asian Americans. All these different people come and live together. What did the Lord say, man? We seen an example with that in the Tower of Babel. He destroyed it. He separated and confused them with their languages. The Lord said he changed not in Malachi 3 and 6. So he going to do the same thing. He coming back to divide everybody. I want Israelites over here. I want these over here, these over here. By the way, the other nations got judgment, though. They got to go through slavery. So they going to be there with us, building up our cities, building up our shit. That's what Isaiah 61 just said. Because they going into bondage, man. Isaiah 60 talks about it. Isaiah 14 talks about it. I'm not going to pull all of it, because then I'm going to have to start pulling the whole book. That's what's going to happen. We're going to go down the line and start pulling every precept. But yeah, Isaiah 61, Isaiah 60, Isaiah 14, Isaiah 13. It ain't talking about servitude, man. It's talking about slavery. Because you don't have a choice. You servant is like a butler. He can come to work and get paid, or he ain't got to come to work and he ain't going to get paid. That's a difference, What did I want? I wanted Revelations chapter 1. This all off the top of the head. Just more examples of how the Lord is coming back, right? Here, I want to get straight to the point. Verse 7, behold, he cometh with the clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of earth shall wail because of him, even so, amen. So why are they wailing for? That's because he ain't coming back for peace, man. He come back for war. That's why everybody's going to be willing. They're going to be scared, man. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty, or Lord. Right? Then John goes into giving his image, and what he's seen, Verse 13, in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one likened to the Son of the Man, cloth with a garment down to his foot, and girdle about the paps with a golden girdle. And his head and his hairs were white like wool. So the hairs on his head, that's his own old English, man. This ain't talking about he was white, because even so-called white people are not white. They're red. So it's saying the hairs on his head were white as wool. And his eyes were a flame of fire. So why is his eyes a flame of fire, man? You know, brothers say he drunk a lot of wine, but it also goes to the wrath he's coming back. He's coming back angry. He's coming back with wrath. You know, here, what else did I want? I'm going to end it with this one right here. How he's coming back. If you don't believe in the Apocrypha, you're doing yourself a great disservice, man. Because it really breaks down a lot of stuff. You know, I like to say the second address, which is what I'm about to pull, second address 13. What I like to say is second address really goes hand in hand with Revelation. If you got something in second address or first address too, you can find the precept for it in Revelations. If you got something in Revelation, you can find the precept for it in second address. That's just something on my own that I kind of took note to myself. I'm going to run through this real quick. This is second address chapter 13, right? Just start at the beginning. And it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night. So everybody having dreams. I ain't say everybody, but these different, you know, a lot of brothers is uploading dreams that these different nations have, and they all have something in common. They all scared because they in they vision that they have, and the Lord is coming back to destroy stuff pretty much, right? And lo, so this was Esdras having a dream, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the waves thereof. Man, that's how fierce he coming back. All the waves thereof, and beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. So 2 Thessalonians 1, it says he's coming back with mighty angels. Now this goes along with that because it says he's coming back with the thousands of heaven. Mighty angels. That's who the thousands of heaven is. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. Now that goes along with Revelations 1 because it said that the people will be willing. That's what trembling means. They're going to be willing. They're going to be in fear, man. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth felleth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of sea. So who could do that on earth, man? And this stuff be getting me angry because y'all be playing. You know, not the brothers, but y'all, you know, all these different doctrines and these different devils, y'all be playing, acting like y'all don't know what that means. So who has power on the earth to come from the four corners of heavens, mean just the skies, from all over the earth, that could be in the heavens? So that gives a clue right there. They would have to have jets. So who has control over the jets that's going to come and fight against the Lord? Because that's what this is talking about, right? When it's saying that the multitude of men out of the number from the four winds of heaven, they not just flying, they not Superman. So they in vehicles, they in jets. And who have power over the jets? Man, that's Esau Edom. Come on, man. So this talking about actual man, right? And is this talking about a demon devil with demons coming to fight the Lord in heaven? No, it says man. See, so things are being revealed here. You know, to subdue the man that came out the sea. Who is the man that came out the sea? That's the Lord, Yahushua. But I beheld, and lo, which sea just means it's talking about he came out the skies. He came out of space in today's sense. You know, the waters above, the waters below. And I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain. So Ezra said he had a great mountain. And he flew upon it. So is he actually flying on a rocky mountain? Come on, man. But it says, but I would have seen the regional place where the hill was graven, but I could not. So he couldn't see where the hill was coming down at. Because it wasn't a hill, it was a chariot. Just like you see in Independence Day, it came with a gigantic chariot, just like you see on the screen. A gigantic so-called UFO, which is a chariot, which means vehicle. And he was upon it. Just like it's saying on second address. Yeah, just like you see on the screen. You see a man upon it. That's what Esdras was talking about. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him was sore afraid, and yet durst fight. All the people on the ground was afraid, and all the men that was in the heavens in they jets that came to subdue him and fight him, they were afraid. And who's going to be that? Who's going to do that? You have to say America because they have the number one military on Earth. They have the out of all the different countries on Earth, they have the most jets in their inventory than any other nation. You have to say Russia's going to be along with them. You have to say China's going to be along with them. But you have to say America because they number one. They run everything. You got the United Nations, right? Who's running the United Nations? Who has power? Who's spearheading that? Who's on top? It's America. They all get down and lay down because America has the best technology and the biggest and strongest military. So you all think that America is going to be a part of this? Of course they is, man. They devils, right? And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up a hand nor held a sword nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and off his lips a flaming breath, and all his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were mixed all together, in the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, and burned them up every one of them, so that upon a sudden of innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was sore afraid. So what is that talking about? Well, you see on your Independence Day, it shoots out what you would say a laser, a concentrated laser, which is fire concentrated, and it killed everything, and it was nothing left of them but dust. And that's what's going to literally happen. That's a dream, that's a vision that he had, and it's a prophecy that's going to be fulfilled of the Lord coming back. So that's how the Lord's going to return. He's going to return. People are going to be scared. They're going to come out to try to fight him. They're going to lie to me and you and everybody else and say that there's aliens invading the earth and we need to come together to fight for the earth when really it's the Lord. And they're going to come to fight against the Lord and they're going to be totally destroyed. But before that, the elect's going to be beamed up. That's why I say we should meet him in the heavens and be with the Lord forever. The elect's going to be beamed up, and then you got Revelations 21. That the elect in Jerusalem, New Jerusalem, is going to come down with the Lord out of heaven to inherit the earth and kingdom of heaven, which is going to be on earth. And then you could start going into Revelations 21. So that's just the spirit, getting into how the Lord is going to return, which is all in the book. It's all here in the book, So that don't let that night, the day of the Lord, just sneak up on you like a thief in the night. You need to be prepared and be ready. If you're an Israelite, repent, keep the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability, and have faith, because that's really all you could do, With that, I'm going to say shalom, salvation to the elect.